Trek sound system here. You're going to be the first ones we tried on. Listen, first I want to thank you for inviting me to Detroit. Thank you. There was something that I had to, I have been, it seems like, all over the United States this past year, and I never got to Detroit. And Adam Marin called me not long ago, and he said, "Gee, how would you like to go to Detroit?" I said, "I'd love to go to Detroit." I got lots of letters from Detroit, and I said, "I've never been there." So he all of a sudden sprung to something. And it's indeed a pleasure to be here and enjoy this delightful Detroit weather. We love it, and we love being here with you. Look, before I forget, are any of you familiar with a television channel called Arts and Entertainment?
Yeah.
All right, I have a little story to tell you. Yes.
Try this.
Try this. Take this one on. Oh, well. About 1960 was my first encounter with Gene Roddenberry. Can you hear me? Well,
Yeah.
I had done a pilot film for Gene, which I'm sure that some of you have seen me in a convention before, have heard me talk about, but for the benefit of those who haven't, I'll tell it again. The first thing I did for Gene was a film called 333 Montgomery. It was a pilot film for a series that was based on a very famous San Francisco criminal lawyer. And I was chosen to play this role, and it was my first meeting with Roddenberry, who wrote the script. Little did I know that 20-something odd years later, I would still be with Gene Roddenberry. I had been very busy in television up to that time, as you know, if any of you have seen the old westerns. Doing a lot of those western things. So, anyhow, I got a call from New York several months ago that Arts and Entertainment are heavily involved in a new scope of shows that they're doing called the Golden Era. Now, 333, they had some trouble digging up, but they found it for some reason out at Warner Brothers. It's a half-hour drama show, and it's going to screen on the evening of, or the day or evening of July 28th. And I thought maybe you might get a kick out of seeing the very young DeForest portray this criminal lawyer. Now, later on, this particular series did not sell. As always, Gene Roddenberry was seemingly well ahead of his time, even then. I portray a cat in that show that is really guilty, and I'm getting off. And networks couldn't deal with the theme of that story, it seemed like, too well at that time. But then I did another show for Gene called, way before the police story, but it was called Police Story. That too did not sell. But I had worked in about 3 pilot Cowboy films, and they all sold. So when 333 came along, why, Columbia said, well, let's put him in a series of his own. That's how I happened to get 333, one of the reasons. Then, as the years passed by, why, Gene did the first Star Trek pilot. He called upon me and screened it for me, and I was not into science fiction, had never really seen any of it amount to anything. I went in and looked at this film and came back, and he asked me what I thought of it. And I told him, I said, Gene, I think it's going to be the biggest hit or the biggest miss that God ever made. It turned out both ways. So for some reason, which we later found out that networks didn't want me in it because I've been playing heavies and westerns so much, they couldn't see me as a doctor. So they made another pilot. And in the meantime, the police story I had done for Gene, and I got kind of a good reaction on it. But he couldn't get me in the second pilot. But when the network saw Police Story, they said, well, let's go with it. So I ended up doing the series, but I was not in either one of the pilots. Now, when the series was dropped, and we were all put out on our own, nobody knew what was going to happen. Until suddenly the show hit syndication, as you all know. And then in syndication, it took off and became the great phenomenon that it is today. In 1977, they were thinking about doing something else with Star Trek because Star Wars had come about. And they all got very excited and thought we too should do something. So, in the meantime, Leonard McCoy was in New York doing a Broadway play. Actress, however you pronounce it. Jimmy Doohan had bought an RV coach and he was traveling all over the country, and the show was working with NASA. And George Takei, I'm sure you're all familiar with that crazy laugh of his, Well, he was working on the mayor's staff and driving him crazy. They're all going our own way. And one day, I sat down and thought that was very funny that they were going to try to get us all together, and I wrote this poem called The Big Bird's Dream. And we all called Gene Roddenberry the Big Bird. I know you've read The Great Bird of the Galaxy, but when we had trouble on the set, we'd say, well, let's get the Big Bird down here and straighten it out. So I wrote this poem that I have read, and I'm sure that a lot of you have heard it before. But would you like to hear, for those of you who haven't, would you like to hear it?
Excuse me.
Sorry, I'm blinded with a doctor.
I thought you only subscribed Romeo and Ale.
I'm a doctor, not a chemist. Oh, and for those of you who don't know, NBC is located on Hollywood and Burbank Way. Give you a little interpretation of this as it goes along. Anyhow, Star Wars had just broken out. So I started my poem out with, a long time ago in a galaxy far, far away, there lived a big bird nesting on the plain. And he thought if he could hatch it and get it on the air, he'd make himself a fortune and build himself a lair. The day finally came, and the story was born, and he let out a cackle, no more corn. And he flew from his nest with the clay in his claw, certain to sell it, for it had no flaw. Now the story he had hatched within this yarn took place on a ship as big as a barn. Not only that, but it was in outer space, far removed from the human race. Its crew searched the universe for worlds unknown, to teach and learn and not try to own. Not only that, they built a new nation, this time known as the Federation. All of this taking place in the skies on a starship known as the Enterprise. Now, wouldn't you think, with a pilot like this, the Big Bird had what couldn't miss? Well, he landed in Burbank on Hollywood Way, and he headed east to sell his play. But things weren't as easy as he thought they would be, particularly when dealing with NBC. The Enterprise crew was one of a kind, superb in their work with good things in mind. Different in color and different in race, green, white, yellow, and one black face. At first, the black was not to be, till the Big Bird screamed at NBC. It's either she or I, he began to yell. Who knows who's going to ring whose bell? With great reluctance, They agreed to say, okay, fellas, we'll do it his way. And a later time, on another day, they'd be the first to boast that they went this way. Most who read it said, this bird is nuts. But there was one among them possessed with guts. Let's go with this bird, loud and clear. He's saying things people should hear. Let's give it a try and hope it will work, so spoke the head of the big network. So the pilot was made, and they all took a look. My God, one shouted, he's filmed a book. Another one yelled, it's too far out. I don't understand what it's all about. But the one with guts had a grin on his face, and now he was ready to state his case. Far out, he said, I like what I heard, and I'm still going to go with this crazy bird. So they made another pilot with a change here and there, and finally they got it on the air. The big bird felt a sense of elation after so many days of complete frustration. But now he knew that the big job was done, that he must find a name for his proud new son. One thing was left for the big bird to do, find a name for his dream come true. So he gave a party so the brass would appear to name this dream that he held so dear. When the party calmed down and the feeling was mellow, the bird stepped forward to christen this fellow. Lift your glasses, he said out loud. I've got a new baby for which I'm proud. And he took an edict from his hand, the symbol he created for the change in man. And he placed it tenderly around the small neck, and in a mellifluous voice said, Star Trek. The brass with guts jumped up and down. My God, he said, what a sound. How did he think of such a name? As commercial as hell, the name of the game. Well, the public loved it, but the Nielsen was low, and they tell the networks what to show. The word was out for all to hear, Star Trek dead after second year. The rest is history, as you surely know, for you, the fans, saved the show. The millions of letters that you sent to the brass simply knocked them on their ass. There's more. But after one more year, they put it away, not knowing it would rise in syndicated play. Then came conventions and letters and toys, reruns and ratings and lots of noise. Finally, the studio was heard to say, we'll remake Star Trek another way. How will we do it, one of them said. Not as a series, the reruns aren't dead. Well, let's do it as a movie, a special or a play. For heaven's sake, let's do it some way. Precious moments are flying by. The actors are aging and soon may die. You don't believe that. Are they still available, or should we recast? Without the originals, how long would it last? Go get the big bird. He knows where they are. And having remind Spock, he's still not a star. We've got to keep their egos down in case replacements can't be found. So in flew the big bird, ready to squeal, naturally anxious to make a deal. First he said we should discuss the star, for all of them probably think they are. Don't be funny, the executive said. If that's the case, the whole thing's dead. Well, what's with Shatner? How does he look? I don't know, but he's written a book. Seems he wanted the world to know how he suffered making that show. Well, what's with Kelly? Now, what's with his life? Well, he's living in the valley with the very same wife. I know one thing that's bugging him. He's sick of that line, he's dead, Jim. Well, how about doing the one with the bro? Well, he bought a motor coach and hit the road. He's grown a beard. It's silver and black, and he says he wants to keep it if he comes back. Well, how about the kid? He flew the damn ship. Well, he's in politics, a whole new trip. He had a job on the mayor's staff, but they couldn't take that crazy laugh. Okay, what about Michelle? The one you said would ring our bell. Oh, she's working with NASA, goes all over the nation, trying to interest women in the space administration. They're using the Enterprise to colonize space and can't seem to do it without the female race. She says she's had it with communications and wants to come back in public relations. Well, where's the hell King, the young Russian lad? Oh, he's writing for films, and he's really not bad. As a matter of fact, if he can be found, he could be the one to get this off the ground. Well, that just about covers the entire crew. Major's no problem. She's married to you. Don't you believe it? Not on your life. I don't make deals with my very own wife. And even though she's married to me, she still commands the same high fee. And if this show goes, she'll be back, you can bet. I've never written a script without her yet. And there's one more actor that you left out, and I really think we should talk about. I know it's something you hate to discuss, but it's going to create quite a fuss. I'm referring to McCoy and what he has to say. He's in New York doing a play. He's portraying a doctor and says it's a joy, and he might come back if he could play McCoy. McCoy's role, the executive said, my God, man, he's out of his head. Well, I'm telling you now, that really takes guts. The brass will think we've all gone nuts. What about Kelly, if Spock plays McCoy? He'll just flip if we get another boy. The big bird spoke with that smile on his face, the one he wears when he solved the case. Easy, gentlemen. Don't worry about that. I can fix him and nothing flat. So just relax and calm your fears. I'll paint deep green and give him the ears. So that brings us up to where we are today, with thousands of people gathered to say, Star Trek lives, it will not die. When will someone make it fly? Well, someone finally made it fly. About 5 different ways, didn't they? Somebody just handed me a terrific button, and it's so true. It says, trust me, I'm a doctor. Well, I'm now going to talk to you for a while. This is the way I always learn things. I come to a convention and I learn more about what's going on in Hollywood than I myself know. So we'll kind of swap some questions around, and I'll be anxious to know what you have to say, and I hope that I will be able to answer your questions in a satisfactory way. So, who's first? Yes.
Shatner's going to direct 5. That much has been known. Will Savick and Gillian and the rest of the new crew members be back? Do you know that?
Shatner will direct 5, as of today. You never know what's going to happen in Hollywood from one day to the next. But he is going to direct it. There is no information that I know that's out on the story at this point.
Because I read in Variety that Catherine Hicks is doing a new movie.
Yes, Catherine Hicks is doing a new movie.
And Robin Curtis says she doesn't want to come back.
And Robin doesn't want to come back. Well, they haven't asked Dr. McCoy whether he wants to come back.
Well, is Dr. McCoy going to come back?
Of course.
He better.
I want to.
No, you know, everything, the way we have done Star Trek, it has been interesting. In some of the early episodes of the films, there are options held on the actor. In other words, I had an option for the fourth movie and the third movie. I do not have an option on the fifth movie. From what I've heard, they'd like to have me come back. For the other people, I'm sure that they will all be back. I mean, what's the point in doing Star Trek V with none of the original cast in it except Bill and Leonard? Did I what?
Why don't you imitate Scully Spock like you do?
Baiting, Spock baiting, your hobby.
Yeah.
Oh,
yeah.
oh, you mean that when I become upset with him, you green-blooded son of a bitch? You know, when we were doing number 4, and Spock and I were having that little beat of the teeth there at the console, and he was giving me some kind of problems, and I was trying to find out what it felt like to have died and come back again. And he lays that line on me of Dr. McCoy. He said, "Good afternoon, excuse me, I'm busy now. I'm hearing many strange sounds." And I said, "I don't doubt it." That was an ad lib. And they kept it in. But we've had a great deal of fun doing that sort of thing, and hopefully that it will, they will allow us to have more of that kind of repartee in number 5. Yes. Will there be a third edition? No, I wrote another one that, which I'll read tomorrow, called The Dream Goes On. I wrote that because it was the 20th year in Star Trek, The Dream Goes On. It just kind of picks up from this one. It's just nothing serious, but it's been a lot of fun. And when I started out with it, I had no idea of the popularity those poems would gather. And so I had them mailed and put them up in a book form with some a couple of rare stills from ex-motion pictures that we put them out. That's how that happened, really. They were not originally intended to do anything but give somebody some lines. Yes, way back in the cap, yes, you in the black sweater and that cute cap. Yeah. Similarity between Dr. McCoy and another doctor? Who? It's very difficult for me to hear you up here, and I'm not. Can you hear?
Who did you pattern Dr. McCoy after?
Oh, who did I pattern Dr. McCoy after? Oh, did I pick up anything from Gunsmoke? No, not at all. I did a Gunsmoke. I don't know, maybe 2 of them, but I never paid any attention to it at all. No, the way that McCoy came about is that Gene Roddenberry, when we were handed the scripts, had laid out a character analysis for us. And I patterned what little there was to pattern after H.L. Mencken, the future day H.L. Mencken. And what I did is I tried to develop and build the character more or less as we went along in the early series. And all of the byplay between Spock and myself took place almost accidentally, of taking the lines between the 2 of us and creating that kind of a friction, a kind of hate-love situation. But no, what there is in McCoy was not copied from anyone. Thank you. Yes. you had heard that in the next Star Trek that the situation between the Klingons and the Romulans and the Federation would be settled as far as their warring with each other. I'm a doctor, not a politician. I haven't heard a thing about that. Yes. Do I think McCoy has mellowed out? Yes. As a matter of fact, in 4, I tried to draw that out, that he had mellowed somewhat, and he was taking somewhat a different look at Spock from 3 on. I have tried to give the impression, now I don't know what's going to happen in 5. I might do a reverse and go back the other way, but I thought that in 5 that he was kind of looking at him like, after having worn his patcher for a while, that I think I've got your number. But he can still annoy the hell out of me. Yes, the lady in yellow way back there. Yes, you. Oh, that's a Star Trek uniform, isn't it? Oh, very nice. I heard part of your question, but if I have any plans, oh, you mean if I have any idea concerning this? Oh, I see. No, I'm afraid that, except on very rare occasions, my input, until I've read a script or an outline of a script or something, I have nothing to say about it. And then even in that case, sometimes it is vastly ignored. I have no ideas about what I would like to happen to him in the future. I haven't given it much thought because Harv Bennett is usually the man who starts to write it. And it's an iron fortress going in there saying, I think he should do this. And they tell you that's not the way the story is going. We can't possibly do that. But if we were doing the series, I'm sure that our characters would have developed and gone into many, different aspects of the character in many different directions. Yes.
We have something to give to you.
Oh, do you? Thank you. A gift?
Last year at Space Trek 4, I was one who did the writing contest that you and Leonard ran.
That was a light.
Yeah. And one of the delightful results for me was getting to know this gentleman a little bit better. 1 week ago today, we were married, and we picked this up to you on our honeymoon at the time.
I love it. I love it. Isn't that nice? Well, congratulations and every good wish for your happiness.
What do you have to do wrap it and keep it safe?
Oh, thank you. I love it. It's a beautiful little whale. Isn't that nice? Really well. That was in St. Louis. At the St. Louis convention, how many of you were there when we were in St. Louis where Leonard appeared? This young lady wrote the winning skit that Leonard and I presented on stage together, and it was absolutely delightful. In fact, Linda sent me a cassette of that just recently, which I was very happy to have, because it happened to be something that might not happen again. It was very rare. You're a very talented young lady, and much happiness to both of you. Thank you. The gentleman in blue, way back, yes. Listen, don't think I'm hard of hearing. It's really tough to hear. Somebody can relay it if I can. Uh-oh. Yes, I was. I don't know. He's speaking of the second film I did when I signed the contract with Paramount. How many of you saw the Life magazine layout? Did you? You didn't see the July layout, the 75th anniversary of Paramount. They had a centerfold there of all the actors that had starred in motion pictures for Paramount through the years, and it was quite a historic event. I signed to Paramount in 1946. I was much older then. And so Paramount has been somewhat of a home for me for many years. I don't know what happened to Mary Hatcher, the girl who co-starred in that movie. They did a movie called Variety Girl, which had every star on the lot in the film, and Mary Hatcher and Ola San Juan, and I carried the lead, the thread of the story. So, thank you for remembering, though. That's reaching way back.
What,
Yes, yes.
I had a gift here for you, and I was wondering if I could bring it up. Can I bring you a gift?
I'm going to need a little card at this home. Here comes another gift. This is Christmas in July. How nice. What? You said it, boy. The gifts I'm getting for DeForest in Detroit. Oh, thank you. And one for Carolyn. I'm thoughtful of you. Thank you. I'm going to place this over here.
Mr. Kelly.
This armed guard will watch it.
Mr. Kelly,
Yes.
what do you do in your spare time?
What do I do? I don't have any spare time. Yes, yeah.
I heard something on the last movie that your daughter or somebody was supposed to come into the show.
I wish you would mention that. My wife doesn't know anything about it. He said that he had heard mention that my daughter would appear in the show. She would have appeared had we gone the next year for the series. Joanna, they were going to bring her in. If they had gone on with the series. And they had created somewhat of an interesting situation that our ever-loving captain was going to kind of go for her. McCoy wasn't too happy about that. Too bad, we could have done a lot of funny things. Yes.
What was your fondest memory of the TV series?
My fondest memory of the TV series, gee, it's hard to say. We had so many, the whole series really was what I would consider a very fond memory. We had a very unusual, I know you hear this, people on television say, oh, we're like a family, you know, that sort of thing. But we had a very unusual relationship. We were doing something in that time frame that we all felt was very special, a very special kind of a show. And did not know, we were just as dubious about its being accepted as the network was in one respect. That is, we didn't know how it would be accepted by the public in general. But we were very excited about it, and it was the 30 years of that series, it was a joy to get up and go to work in the morning and do it, because the scripts were not the usual hackneyed detective things. Whether they were excellent or not, they always contained something that was very exciting and different for an actor to perform in. So I can't single out any one moment. One of the saddest moments was when we realized that it was not going to go back on the air. That's easier to mention.
How'd you feel when they told us?
I beg your
How'd
pardon?
you feel when they told you?
How did we feel when they told us that they were going to drop the show? We felt, we felt lousy about it, because we knew that if we had gone on for the 5th year, we had so many interesting things that we thought we were going to be able to do. And I think now that had we made that 5th year, it would have perhaps survived and gone on and on. But then who knows? Yes, you.
You know the woman in the front row that just got married, did she tell her husband it's once every 7 years?
I failed in my position as a physician to warn that young couple that it's thoughtful. That it's every 7 years.
That's only the male falcons.
Upstream.
That's the male falcons, not the females.
Well, what are you going to do? Swim after it? In the red, way in the back, yes.
Why does McCoy hate the transporter view? Why does he keep his beard instead of everyone?
Why does he hate the transporter so? Well, he just doesn't trust any of that newfangled stuff spreading his particles all about, for God's sake. I still don't trust it. And I hate it to the day I die. Yes, here's the red.
Okay. Now, I really don't want to ask this question, it's real trivial, but a couple of friends have asked me and asked me for you since I was going to work and they can afford the ticket. Okay, now, in one of the Star Trek novels, it's like a novel of short stories, it's mentioned where that the original little thing she used to tell us something secret.
The medical tricorder?
Yeah, you know, we're going to
The little one? Yes.
Okay, I never wondered if it really was a salt shaker or if it was something else.
Oh, no, that was in surgery. Everyone thought that I was using salt shakers in surgery that looked exactly like salt shakers. They really were not salt shakers, but I must agree they did look exactly like salt shakers. And I can't tell you the enormous amount of mail that we received concerning that. But they were very heavy, metal, laser instruments. We were way ahead of our time. We were into laser surgery then. Yes.
Yes, we're all familiar about your relationship with Kirk and Spock. What kind of relationship is it with you and Scotty?
My relationship, you're familiar with my relationship with the other people, but my relationship with Scotty. The relationship between the two of us had never been drawn out hard at all, except in Star Trek 4. And it turned out to be, I kept looking at both of us and thinking of Laurel and Hardy. I think that McCoy perhaps has an admiration for everyone on the ship and what they're able to do. And he looks at, I think, Scotty with great amusement, as I think the captain does also. He respects him, but he's the kind of a guy that you look at and kind of evokes a smile to come over your face. Yes.
I guess this is a very typical question, but this is my first time. I just wondered if there were any amusing or sentimental or whatever stories you could tell us from the series.
Any amusing or sentimental stuff? One of the things that keeps coming to my mind that was in a very amusing situation to me, and some of the things are not funny to retell, but when they happen, it seems like they're funny. After we had done the Tribble show, they kept popping up all over. And it went on for weeks. And when we were doing the show with Spock's father, I can't remember. The what? The Journey to Babel. And I was in surgery with them. We were filming this scene, and I had planted one of these triples in a drawer in the surgery room, and I pulled it out, and I placed it between his legs. And during the course of the scene, we were heavily involved there, and I pulled this triple out and said, the trouble with Spock's father is he's pregnant, he's had a triple. And it was hilarious at the time because nobody expected it, and I don't know whatever happened to the outtake because it was on film, we all fell dead. So many things, it's hard to look back. I try to look back, and some of them are captured in the blooper reels. But I don't know. There have been some sad things, and there have been some happy things that have happened to your life during the series. But it's been a remarkable experience for me. If I do not ever do another Star Trek, it's been a wonderful experience, and I've enjoyed every minute of it being in it. Yes, the gentleman in the white jacket, yes. We don't have many blooper reels from the movie, and that's because, as I've explained before, that when you're doing a series, as we were, we're working long hours and doing one show after the other, it seemingly was a way to let off steam. When you're doing a motion picture, you sometimes sit around for 4 or 5 hours before you will go in and work. They'll call you early in the morning. For some reason, they don't get to you until late in the afternoon. Something has gone wrong. So there's not as much chance for humor in a motion picture, and I don't think they have a great number of bloopers. They may have some that we don't realize. Yes, the lady here, first row. My favorite episode is City on the Edge of Forever. There are several that I thought were excellent. I thought the Thorian Web was an excellent show. I also thought a very different show was The Impact. This was a show that was done on a sound stage, is just about the size of this building, and it was all draped out in black. And it was done in pinpoint lighting, which is not as recognizable in the series. It was like a stage play with pinpoints. And it was just an interesting show to do. One of the joys of Star Trek. You never know what was going to happen next. Yes, you.
Yes. Being that you have been in many westerns, did you do the writing? Are you a horseman in your own right?
Did I do my own writing in westerns? Yes, ma'am. I sure did. I've often wondered what would happen. You know, it's a funny thing. If I can get on the horse now, I'm gone. There's no problem. But I did an awful lot of riding, and everything that you see in film with me on a horse, with the exception of a horse fall, I had a very small but important role in an old picture called Rain Tree County. And the guy that doubled me did the horse fall in that scene where I'm captured by Montgomery Clift and Lee Marmon. I thought I was going to live in that. I might manage to kill Lee, but then he turned around and killed me. So I always got killed in all of those things. But I really rode my fanny off for many, many years. No, I haven't ridden in a long time. The last time I rode, I was in Texas doing a play, and some Cowboys came to see me. I had a lot of Star Trek fans, but I had a lot of Cowboy fans there because of the Westerns. And they invited me out to a ranch, and they owned quite a few horses, and we went riding and had a wonderful time that day. I was on board a horse. But we've had some... I was doing a show a long time ago called Laramie, a old Western. We had robbed a bank, and we're about, okay, we were coming out of this bank, there were about 5 or 6 of us, and to scramble on these horses, and they're all lined up in a row, and the horses get skittish, you know, when you run and jump like that. So we were rushing out to go down the street, the camera's set up way up on this hill to catch us all, and I swung up on this horse, and the horse moved so quickly that I couldn't get my other foot up over into the saddle. So here we go, we're about 8 or 10 of us, down the street, and I'm hanging on a horn with one foot in the stirrup. And I thought, well, this is going to be the end of me, but I got to do something. So I kicked the ground, and it flipped me up, and I went right into the saddle. I got the biggest hand you've ever heard in your life for doing this jump up on this horse. But I also, before I go, I noticed my time is almost up, as I look and see. But I do another show called Warlock, and the same thing. I had this showdown with Henry Fonda in a saloon where he outdraws me, and I'm pretty impressed with him, and I back out of the saloon. And we all go out and get on these horses which are lined up at a hitching post. And this director, Eddie Dimitri, was a very kind of a slow-moving man that smoked a big cigar all the time and had a great dry sense of humor. So we run out to this hitching post, and I got up on my horse. I had spurs on, and when I swung over, I kicked the horse next to me. He kicked up in the air, and this is the truth, so help me. And this horse, when he kicked in the air, he threw me, and I did a complete flip in the air and fell down on my back. My head just missed the tire rail. And there was this big silence, and Eddie Dimitri comes over and looks over the tire and went, all I can see are these horses. Oh, man. And he said, are you all right, Kevin? I said, yeah, I'm all right. He said, gee, he said, I'm glad I hired real cowboys. Have I slipped somebody in here? Yes, a lovely lady and a beautiful flower there. Yes. No, don't look around. You stand up.
Did you say hello to all your fans here from Canada?
You're lovely too. Yes, I will. Hello, all of you from Canada. How many are with me, guys? Oh, I should have mentioned that, but I want to hear from you when I get back. And I thank you for that compliment. I'm embarrassed to repeat. She wanted to know if I had had a public speaking course. Is that right? Toastmaster. No, I never have. I started on the stage in community theater, actually, in Long Beach, California. And I studied briefly with a woman there named Mrs. Day, who took me under her wing and worked with me for a while. But that was a very short go. The rest of it has just been stage experience and getting up and doing something that you don't know what the hell you're doing. Crazy. Yes, now let me get back. I forget that you people are so close to Canada, and forgive me, I'm sorry that I didn't welcome all of you. I received a lot of mail from Canada, and we're very proud to have you here with us today. I appreciate you coming. And I'm going to look forward to seeing you all here tomorrow again, somewhere around the same time. And I'll tell you the rest of that cowboy story.
Mrs. Kelly. Mrs. Kelly.
My wife? No, my wife is she's very camera shy. I wouldn't do that to her. It checks her out, but thank you very, very much for that. She's a lovely lady and has been with me for many, many years. As I always say, I make a living and she makes a living worthwhile. I don't think she's here. I will ask her to stand up, and if she is here, but she may not be here.
She left. Mr. Kelly,
She left. She thought I was going to get into some dirty stories, and she walked out. One more question, and then I must go. Yes.
Number one, how did you come about getting the nickname Bones?
How did I come about getting the nickname Bones? Well, in the old days, in the cowboy days, they called doctors sawbones for obvious reasons. And bones is short for sawbones. Now in Europe, that doesn't mean anything to them, bones. So they call me Pill. Thank you very much. I'll see you tomorrow.